Thank you once again for making Locked On Cougars and Locked On Texas Tech your first listen of the day. I know, Chris, that you have your Locked On Texas Tech Insiders group. I have the Locked On Cougars Insider group. Would encourage, if you have not signed up for either one, whether you're a Texas Tech Raider fan or you're a Cougar fan, join today. Get the inside scoop on all things Texas Tech and BYU from our various Insiders group. The great thing is you can click the link in the show notes below and sign up. 14-day free trial.
What is yours called? What's your group called?
It's a Locked On Cougars Insider group. Simple as that.
Ours is the Matador Mob. Yeah.
Dude, I need to rebrand that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Matador Mob. We do a Matador Mob mailbag every Friday and only take questions for people that are in the group there.
I do the exact same thing. So there you go.
Okay, there you go. So Jake, Cody is a guy that I've known for 20 years. Okay.
Cody Campbell, former Texas Tech football player, turned multi-billionaire business mogul, right?
Yeah, yes. So Cody played for Mike Leach, back in the mid-2000s, was an offensive lineman, starter, and all those things. And there was also a guy on that team named John Sellers, great guy. Mm-hmm. They were friends in college. I want to say they maybe were friends in high school too. But anyways, they played here and then went off and graduated and everything. And some years went by and they created a company called Double Eagle and got involved in the oil and gas business and in West Texas and the Metroplex and all these things. They were able to sell a version of their company, and they've done this now. They're on like version 3 or 4 of their company, and they keep selling it for like $1 billion like each time as they reinvent it and acquire when the price of oil is low, they buy, and it's just it's been pretty fascinating to watch. They are extremely passionate about Texas Tech, and if you've wondered about what's going on with like Texas Tech softball, okay, there was a big NIL deal with I think she's thought to be like the player of the year she was last year, Nigeri Kennedy, pitcher from Stanford. Well, John Sellers' wife, Cody's partner in this, John Sellers' wife played softball at Texas Tech, and she was very interested in the success of the softball program. So they invested, and it's worked. They won the Big 12, they won the conference tournament, they're in the NCAA tournament, all those things. But Cody is somebody that has, he's a regent here. He's the chairman of the board of regents here. He started the Matador Club, which is the collective here, which is, I think, one of the leaders in its space in the country on how to conduct these things. They make these kids do community service and all the stuff. Okay. But Cody is, and I think while you're asking about it, he's been named to this College Sports Commission or that President Trump is doing. And Cody he's played golf with Trump before, and they know each other. And it's pretty fascinating that Cody, and I've found, because I've known the guy for so long, we text all the time. We'll talk on occasion. He's just got so much going. But what's fascinating is all these people starting to talk about him like they know him and they think they know what he's about, and they've read what he's written. But Cody's main premise as far as college athletics right now is fighting. They think that he's trying to fight just for Texas Tech or maybe just the Big 12 or whatever your angle is. Like maybe we would assume that Nick Saban is only going to be worried about Alabama and the SEC, right? Yeah. And I think Cody is really fighting for the other guy. And right now the other guy is everybody other than who's in the Big 10 and the SEC. Mm-hmm. He's talked about all the different broadcasting rights and wanting to try to rising tides, and you guys will make more money than you're making now, even you really rich ones, if we do this right. And I don't know if anything will get done, but I'll tell you what, Jake, what I like about Cody's being a co-chair is that with anything going on, whether it's realignment, whether it's TV contracts, whether it's house settlement cases, whether it's whatever is going on, Cody will know exactly what is happening and be able to, help out Brett Yormark in the Big 12. You will have a seat at the table. You won't be surprised, at least for the next 3.5 years while Trump's in office. Okay, for as long as this commission is in place, whether they do nothing, whether they try to do a lot. Either way, you will be informed. And that hasn't always been the case on a league like the Big 12, is you've kind of been left in the dark. What are they doing? What are they plotting? No, you will have a seat at the table. And his main agenda is to fight for the other guy. And right now there's a lot of other guys out there, and he's trying to, again, make everybody more money. He's obviously really good at business. So that's my brief synopsis there and what I can offer up on Cody Campbell.
But here's the thing, that's what I like about this is I think BYU fans can get behind a guy like this because, as you mentioned, he played for Mike Leach, who obviously has a connection to BYU, having gone to BYU, so they have that connection. But he's been a player, so he's been in the position these athletes are in. He's also gone out in the real world and got real world experience and has made billions of dollars. So he has seen it from all angles. And I think his insight coming from both the football side of things as a student athlete, he's not been a coach like Saban. So Saban has the coaching element and maybe the college admin element that he can offer. But what Cody brings is the player side of it and also the real world business side of it. And I think that's exactly why, if you're an ACC fan, you're a G5 or G6 conference of whatever program you're a fan of, or you're somebody in the Big 12, this is exactly, in my opinion, the type of guy that you want to be there advocating for. Because as you mentioned, too often it's been shady backroom dealings between the network, speaking of Fox and ESPN, with the SEC and the Big Ten. And all of a sudden, like, hey, we're doing this. And everybody's like, whoa, hey, wait a minute. We didn't have a say in any of this. What's going on? And they're like, well, tough tiddlywinks, roll with it or don't. And I think a guy like Cody Campbell, he can step to the plate and say, here's the deal. Here's exactly what needs to happen, and understand that my background gives me a keen insight into how to operate this. And I think it's got far-reaching ramifications that obviously will benefit the Big 12, but I think it could have a very positive impact on the sports landscape, speaking of college sports as a whole.
Yeah, and we'll see what ultimately comes of this and who else is involved, and what they ultimately can get done. I just like the fact that there'll be lines of communication, because Cody is he's on a couple of committees as it relates to the Big 12. I think that Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director here, and Cody have met with the folks that really kind of came up with the whole Project Rudy conversation, which was kind of regionalizing conferences again. That seems a bit far-fetched to me. Even trying to pool everybody's rights together and selling them off like the NFL does, which is, I think, what the ultimate dream of Cody's would be. I don't know if you can unwind a lot of the media contracts that are out there. Some of this will be far-fetched. I'm just pointing out that the lines of communication between what's going on at the top and at the White House and whatever with college athletics, the Big 12 will have a seat at the table, and they'll know exactly what's going on. They'll know how to prepare or how to vote or however you want to phrase all these things. And I think that's important. Again, if anything, and I don't know what will ultimately come of all this, but it's just been, because he's a friend of mine, and I see him at most of the games, and it's pretty wild because that was reported like on a Thursday a couple of weeks ago, and I knew that on Tuesday he was at the White House. I didn't exactly know why, and then when I saw that there's this committee and that there was Nick Saban and this businessman, and I knew exactly. Texted him, I was like, "You son of a gun," and so I knew that's who he was, the businessman that was going to be also the co-chair that had a close tie to college athletics. Yeah, he sure does. Anyway, it's wild times that we are in now, but yeah, the Big 12 certainly is well represented.
Oh, awesome. Well, Cody, here's the thing, Cody, best of luck to you moving forward, because I'm speaking just from BYU side of things. We need somebody like this who can obviously be an advocate and help, as you mentioned, those lines of communication, but more importantly, I think stand up, as you mentioned, for the little guy, because there's a lot of big fish out there that want nothing more than to essentially get rid of everybody else and control what the future holds. And I think a guy like this can obviously make some inroads for the little guy out there. But Chris, it was a pleasure catching up with you as always. Where can everybody find your work if they want to learn more about Texas Tech from the BYU side of things?
Yeah, Locked On Texas Tech. I know Jake, I'll speak for him too. He does a phenomenal job on Locked On Cougars, and we're honored to be a part of this network, and we try to bring it every day. This is the time of year where we kind of talk about a variety of different things when we're out of season. But yeah, we both love what we do and appreciate you paying attention. And we both need to work on not being the little guy anymore, which is kind of what our whole episode was about to begin with, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Use that money. They're talking the talk, but as I mentioned, you got to walk the walk now.
Yep.
And that's the big thing I think is going to come in the next couple of months as football season gets going. Chris, we'll do it again soon, hopefully.
Hey, sounds good. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Chris Level. I'm Jake Hatch. As always, thank you for making Locked On Texas Tech and Locked On Cougars your first listen of the day. And as always, once again, thank you for being everydayers right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.